This
Hello.
conference will now be
Good
recorded.
evening, everyone. Today's wanted to hardly welcome you all to the panel discussion on Vote Maadi Bengaluru. The main objective of this panel discussion is to bring in the awareness about voting, the importance of voting among Bengaluru citizens, because last year when the election happens, the voting percentage in Bangalore was pretty less. Okay, and that is why we wanted to take this opportunity to drive this panel discussion online, where we'll have a discussion with a lot of social activists, environmental activists, and people like Vishal, Kanti, and Vinod on the board. So we'll have an open discussion around this, and then ensure that there is no political particular party discussion happens in this forum, and also no individual candidate campaign, only importance of voting and with respect to why we should vote and stuff like that. Okay, so the panel is open now. So let me introduce quickly and run through who are all the dignitaries that we have on the panel today. So today we have Dr. Shanti, one of the environmental activists in Bangalore, and Swachhagraha has been driven by her. And we have Pushpa Priya. She won recently President of India award, and she done more than 750. Correct me if I'm wrong, Pushpa. More than 750 scribes for the special kids and a social activist.
716.
Sorry.
716.
716 scribes for the students, and
Yes.
Prashant is going to join. He's the founder of Amrita Bindu Charitable Trust. We have Mr. Vinod, who is a scientist by profession, philanthropist and educationist, TV panelist. And we have Mr. Vishal, who's a founder, Know Your Indian Roots. And myself, Dhananjaya Padmanabhachar, working as a practice head in a leading company, and editor, freelance social activist, and whatever stuff. And the today's go-to meeting will be recorded, and this is the meeting number. And if somebody wants to join this meeting while the discussion is on, the forum is open for discussion. Please ensure that when the panel is discussing, let us not interfere among the panels. If you have any questions, they can raise the questions in a chat bot, and then that questions will be answered by the respective experts that we have on the panel. You can join this discussion by using your mobile phone also. You can download the GoToMeeting app and use the meeting number 188475501 to log into the meeting. Okay. And just a brief introduction about Vinod here, and then Pushpa Priya, and then Dr. Shanti, then Prashant Rao, founder of Amrita Bindu, and myself, Dhananjay, and Vishal. So the discussion is open now. So first, I want to start the discussion with our the first panel that we have on the call, Pushpa, Dr. Shanti. I just want to understand, Shanti, with respect to voting. Why do you think voting is necessary for the country like India? And what are the constitutional rights that mandates or gives the guidelines for the people to vote? Please, Dr. Shanti.
Yeah, voting is a fundamental right which many of us are still ignoring for a number of reasons. So Indians, like, I mean, 18 is the age of voting. When once they pass that age and they have the right to vote, uh, it's a privilege given to every citizen to elect their leader. If we don't vote, I mean, if we don't make use of this fundamental right, the less percentage of people who decide who should be your leader will be given the privilege if we don't make use of the vote. And for the rest of 5 years, we keep cribbing about the same thing, we keep talking about the same thing. So this is a fundamental right we cannot ignore.
Okay, I think Shanti is bringing a very good point that this is a fundamental right. Vinod, what is your point on that? When you say that it is a fundamental right, is it
Yeah,
necessary and compulsion from the constitution that you need to vote, or it is just a guideline given by the constitution about this subject?
yeah. As per constitutional, it's not compulsory. Let me be clear. It's not compulsory. It's with the will and wish of the people who. Yeah, it's the responsibility and it's a duty of a voter to vote. It's simply because the democracy, our constitution says, as per our Abraham Lincoln, which he has put the words, which have taken from him, in which we have inserted in the constitutional, that is, government is by the people, for the people, and from the people. If these three lines, which has to be ensured, then the main in these three lines, the main word, the core word is people. Without people's involvement in a country's democracy, there cannot be a government, there cannot be any sort of constitutional powers which can a legislator or any power people cannot have. So it's not compulsory, firstly, but it is mandatory on and responsibility on an individual to vote and elect a representative.
I think that's a very good point Vinod is bringing in. It is a responsibility and duty of a citizen to vote. Pushpa, what do you want to say?
Although millions of people vote, actually every vote counts for each and every right that the candidate for the country. That one which I agree with the Vinod, which he is already spoken about. And the process of voting act should be being aware to each and everyone. This is because in a various teams we all have a lot of challenges. Maybe it is in the engagement, especially when you are the young people faces a massive challenges. We can support. For that we need the government, somebody who is representing the government. Definitely a modern generation of responsible citizens who are actively get involved. We have to build a prosperous nation. For that I think it is necessary that voting is always important for each and every individual of the citizen, and one vote can rock the boat.
Okay, excellent. Even Pushpa is saying one vote matters a lot, and it is very important that even single vote decides the candidate who is going to be the leader of the constitutional assembly. And Vishal, please come in. Vishal, you are on mute.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You can hear me? Yeah. Right. So then when we say, we see people around like whom you're voting. Are you voting for Modi? Are you voting for Raga? Are you voting for Kejriwal? So I say you're not voting for a Modi or anyone. We are voting for a party who is a local MP. So this is a local election. I do understand it. But we are voting not to a Modi or a Raga. We are voting to the local MP. So I just like, yeah, it is a responsibility. You should, first of all, responsibility. We speak about responsibility. The person should know what the responsibility is. Like whom you're voting with. Many people, we all go and vote. We all like, we put a picture, we'll take a selfie and put it. But you should, as a basic, as an educated person, I should feel, first of all, we all should know whom we are voting. We are not voting to a legislature. I said we are not voting for any party. We are voting to the local MP. So we should know who's a local MP. According to Lee, by seeing him, what he has done, how many years he has worked with that, and what work is till now, what he has given the local people. By seeing that, I feel like we should vote for that.
Okay, I think it's a good point. Shanti, you want to counter Vishal discussion that I think he's bringing a very good important point. You are voting for a person, you are voting for a MP candidate in your constituency, but not to a political party, right? So, but
Right.
just wanted to highlight that if you want to form a government, majority government, you need to be associated with a political party, and to form a government, there is a minimum number which has been prescribed in our constitution. Unless a person is associated with a party in majority, you cannot form a government. Shanti, you want to debate on that?
No, I agree with that. The candidate who is, whom you're working with directly is very important. True that there should be a proper, party ruling the country, but at the same time, the person whom you are electing, you are voting for, does count. He should be a dynamic. You need to know every candidate who is contesting in your constituency. You need to do your homework, and then it should not be like a biased approach that someone will tell and you will listen. You need to do your homework as an educated person to know what are the credentials, what are the advantages. Now if I vote this person and select this person, what is that we are going to improve? What is that the city or the country is going to benefit from this person? Is it a personal interested candidate for his benefit that he is contesting, or really he is service motivated, service oriented, or is he knowledgeable enough, or is he passionate enough to bring the change? All that we need to see. At the same time, I want to tell you one more thing. When they say Bangalore voting percentage is less, uh, from the past few years, we've been working with the voter ID registrations and all that. There is a flaw in the system where the voter ID is registered in one place. If suppose a person is shifting from this place to the other place, the old area voter name is not removed from the voter list. So by this, what happens every time Bangalore percentage is shown low, and we have to feel ashamed of ourselves, which is not totally true. Unless this making the list of voters perfect, once you are registered your new vote in a particular area, automatically the old one should get cancelled. It is not happening according. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. That's one thing. Second thing, a person is interested to vote, they try to register their thing, but still they don't get the voter ID card or the list, the name in the list, but they're disappointed to vote. These are also few things, along with the importance of voting, providing them the fundamental right to vote, also important. Percentage of voting in Bangalore, what I mean to say is percentage of voters in Bangalore are always low, which is not always true. That I do agree people take it as a holiday and move out and enjoy, don't give importance to the voting, consider this as a holiday, long weekend, all that is true. But along with that, there is a flaw in the system where percentages or votes are shown less because of this reason. Suppose I am in Indiranagar, my vote is there. I shifted to here. My name is there also. Automatically, the percentage of voting will come down. So that has to be corrected.
No, I don't agree with this.
Yeah, I think that's a very good point. Yeah, Vinod, you want to come in? Yeah.
See, basically, when we talk about the percentages of the vote, let us just go back the nation's statistics first. When our independence, we have got our independence. At that time, our percentage of voting was around 50%, and till 2014, the percentage was around from 50 to 56. It has increased. 58, sorry, 58. It has increased, but from at to 2014, the total average percentage was 66%. The drastic, or you can just say it, and escalated like anything, that was due to the Election Commission of India's wonderful initiatives taken by them through that sweep. What there is a scheme called as a sweep. Under that, there are different schemes where they are encouraging the new voters to vote also. There are different things like modification of the voter booths, as well as the enrollment of the electors, as well as deleting also with the electors, and bringing in the online registration systems. There are different steps taken by the Election Commission of India. So for that, we have to pat them for bringing in more. Around the increase from 58 to 66 is a huge margin. With an 89 crore population, if they have increased from around 8%, is a huge margin. And I feel I have a complete optimistic feeling on the ECI, but this time it will be more than 70%, I'm expecting. And when we come back to bank,
yeah, can I say something? Yeah, I'm happy that it is improved, but what I'm saying is there is a scope for further improvement, because when we are going door to door campaigning for Vote Maadi, there's a third party campaign going on. When we are going every day door to door saying Vote Maadi, whether you
Yeah.
vote for anyone, it's not important. But vote Maadi Ache Bandu. When we go to tell, there are people who are telling all these problems. My name was there in the voter list. Last MLA elections when we went, it was not there. It was just not there for no reason. I mean, it was just removed. That's one thing. There are many complaints like that where we are talking to directly citizens. I totally agree. There's an improvement with a lot of awareness happening, a lot of technical improvements of app. There's an app where people come to vote. We were there standing at the election booth, helping people to find their name and make it easy. Yeah, all that is an improvement. But what I'm saying is there is a scope for still more improvement to Bangalore. When we're talking especially about Bangalore, there's a lot
I was
of
about
scope.
to come to Bangalore. I was about to come to Bangalore also, madam.
I
See,
have a
in
question
Bangalore,
for you. I just have a question. Sorry.
yeah, yeah.
So we are saying that Bangalore is always a less, and when you compare of the other in the villages, usually you see in the villages it's like 95% of vote you may get it, but in the
No, no, no.
Bangalore half of the vote you get. If you know the reason, I was just interviewing recently. They're saying it's not that people wish to vote it; they wish they are bought. Their votes have been taken, like if they've been bought. I feel like in the villages, in the cities, people say we are not like people are not worried because people are not bought any votes. That's what I feel because like in the villages they want to get their work done. They want the local MP support. That's the reason they go and vote. I've seen in my office, in my own office, I have people from Andhra Pradesh, I have from Tamil Nadu, I have from Odisha. They all have gone. They say, why are you like so much interested in you are not made the voting card over here. They said, sir, ನಾನು ಎರಡು vote ಇದೆ. I have two voting. Still, but then why are you going there? So no, sir. I have a farm there. I have my parents there. If I don't go and vote, the local MP or MLA will not support my family. So that's the scariness or something which make them vote, not with the responsibility. I feel when we speak about responsibility, I feel that responsibility has not gone to the villages while they're voting. There is a place they're very scared, or they have a push from background that what they're making them to vote. But with the
Yeah,
Bangaloreans, we don't have that.
I completely agree the point with you, Mr. Vishal sir. You are saying that
Yeah.
people have interested in going and voting, and hence they have registered to protect their assets. You are saying is right.
Yes.
Yeah, this is what you're saying. So, Election Commission of India has taken enough steps to increase remove the flaws on the electoral rolls. As the same way, even a citizen is responsible when he's shifting from a home one place to another place. You have 5 years. You have the whole 5 years. You have to go and change it in the Bangalore urban centers. There are different centers available across the Bangalore. Why can't a citizen go and enroll himself where he has shifted? And it's not necessary that he has to go to the Bangalore one center or the BBMP office. You can just shift. If you have shifted your address, you can just go and in online
That's what
itself
I'm
you could have
saying.
done it. But
One second. I will just pitch in. I will pitch in. I'm sorry. See, when there is a helplines, dedicated numbers are there where people have some certain problems, then they can go and call them. But still have a doubt that helpline numbers are of no use. What we are talking is people always need a help. See, basically, where they're sitting is not our concern. Whether they're sitting in Tamil Nadu, whether they're sitting in Hyderabad, it's not a concern. But when government has issued a helpline number, they should also have a little bit of responsibility because recently we had one the same talk on person coming for specially able people. When I was just asking, what in case if a person is not registered to get his ID card, what is the next process? It might be a delay process that we agree for due reasons, but the help should always be there that he has to get as a citizen the voter's ID card, right? There
yeah,
is no the helpline is doing any anonymous job. I feel if I don't know whether how others agree about it.
madam, I have enrolled around 30 to 40 of them online. I myself, I have enrolled 30 to 40 of them who have shifted their place from one place to another place within Bangalore.
But
I have done it.
she's talking
And
about
through
helpline number.
online itself with proper document.
Yeah,
No.
even
So
I have
that's
done.
not the only option you have.
Yeah,
I
even
think
Online help is not the only option you
I
have.
think all the
You have
Okay,
enough
I think let me sorry to interrupt. I think every panelist has the same concern with respect to the systematic issues. I think the Election Commission of India is taking a lot of measures to fix that. I think there is still a lot of scope of improvement where the call center can be made more user friendly, can be more available 24/7, right? And also the system, how do we address in a systematic way, right? For example, is there any possibility from the Election Commission of India, the way the PAN card has been linked to Aadhaar? Is there any possibility that Election Commission of India or any the authorities can take a decision on terms of linking Aadhaar card to voter ID, so that all these systematic issues can be eliminated permanently, right? Nowadays you can have a thumb impression and Aadhaar says you cannot have a duplicate, right? So I will open up the forum for this.
No, I think Aadhaar card is linked actually. It is linked already.
Not to voter ID.
Not to voter ID.
Yes, sir.
Not to voter ID.
So all the systematic issues of transferring from one place to another place, all the systematic issues of having one person having two ID card, can we fix it using Aadhaar? Is it a viable solution from the system point of view? So the panel, your opinion, please.
Our voter card has to be linked with the voting this one PAN card or Aadhaar card, so that wherever they when they voted, so okay, it should come in like, okay, this guy has already voted. Wherever you vote, you may have multiple, you have made 2 or 3 or 10 voting cards of each state. But when you link to Aadhaar card, it should show that should be that the system has been developed in such a way that it's yes, go and vote. It should say, okay, that person has already voted somewhere. So it will only happen when it will be
no. By doing that, don't you think, suppose our assembly elections were in 2018, now Andhra Pradesh has assembly elections. So do you think if a person has a, this thing to vote here also, select your MLA, and there also where he is not staying, select the MLA? I don't think that is right. A person should have one voter ID where he is living, who is the leader whom he is working with, and who is associated with. He should be having the right to choose that leader, not the place where he is not staying just because, for the money sake or whatever sake, he cannot choose the leader where he is not living anymore.
That's what we should come to. This should be given. So it should show all the basic this thing records where he's living for, like he has been settled. You can't give it this person. I've seen the Aadhaar card recently. I was my employee who are Bangladeshi employer immigrants. They have Aadhaar card right now in their hands.
Yes. So, even passport. They have even passports.
Yes. They have an Indian passport. They have an Indian Aadhaar card. So that is too dangerous. So we have to make a system, as Dhananjay sir was telling. So it has to be changed. The process has to be changed. The voting process, or it may be the whatever the cards what we have, that process has to be changed.
Okay.
I think.
Okay, I think Pushpa, you have some point to say.
Yes, Dhananjay and the team, we are all talking and discussing about people who have got the ID cards and all things. I do for one community who has come from Bengal. They are of about nearly 100 people in the slums there, where we try to get the ID card as from the government side. We try to get them as the ID card to vote. Especially for this thing, but unfortunately those 100 people have not got their ID cards because they are not belong to Bangalore. One thing. Second thing, they are staying in Bangalore for a long decade. So what is
no one can deny that? No one can deny that they're from Bengal. That's why they cannot get the voter ID. We have registered many people like that. Only thing, they have to fill form 8 also to surrender the other, right? We don't.
No, but they don't have any ID card.
That's right.
Yes, exactly. What I agree with you, Shanti ma'am. But unfortunately, those people have not even registered even in their own places. They have migrated totally to Bangalore, and we tried to help them to get this either at least one voters ID card, so that they will have at least some recognizing wherever they go to get their whatever you call this PAN card, or for further anything, for health card or anything. But unfortunately, we have failed in doing that.
I think what we need to do is, now we have to categorize why there is a percentage of a low turnout in the voting. What we are speaking right now is one of the reasons, that is the flaws in the electoral. That is
Yes.
one of the reason. But
Yeah.
apart from that, shifts and deletes, these are one of the flaw. And apart from that, there are multiple entries, that is one of the flaw. As well as there is no proper information regard for the voters, where he has to be, which booth he is been allotted, where he has to vote also. Those things are also, there is a slight problem in that. Apart from that, there is no disabled friendly booths where he is able to go and vote. This is one of the reasons. And apart from that, there is a holiday and there is no mandatory of going for voting, hence he is going for the enjoyment. So these are the multiple reasons why we are not able to get the highest turnout. And for each and every reason, one of the measures has to be taken by the ECI. Like for this year, they have introduced one more thing. What it is for the specially disabled persons, what they have done is they have fixed an Ola. They have identified how many of them are there in each constituency. They have individually, they have identified how many of them are blind and how many of them are without legs. Like this, they have identified people. Around 1,500 people have been identified in Bengaluru Central constituency itself. And for all those individuals, 1,500 individuals, ECI have been provided Ola cabs for individual. They are going picking up from the home, from the or till the voting booth, and they'll be getting them back home. So this is one of the major steps they have taken for the inclusive government participation. So it was only fair, free and fair election was the agenda for the ECI. For this year's agenda is free and fair and participatory democracy. This is what the theme for this year's election. So for that, this is one of the major steps they have taken, so that everybody is included in the voter list. And for the registration drives, they have approached each and every colleges in the Bangalore, and they've taken the concern from they have taken the oath from each and every colleges or the degree students. They have been coming for the voting, and they have there are other disabled friendly measures which have been taken at the booth level. For they have created a ramp where they can come, even they can also become and vote. And so like this, there are another some measures like VVPAT. VVPAT has been introduced, where the people who are claiming that there would be hacking, for them also they have ensured that VVPAT is being ensured. So there are no chances of hacking. First, there will be a mock test. As I am also a presiding officer in the booths for this election, I know what is the process which will be involved, so that hacking has been checked. So there cannot be any hacking system. That's a foolproof. ECI has been brought in. They have kept for the display. They have given the challenge, for the open challenge for the public. Even anyone can come and hack, but it was all failure. So there are no hackings. There are disabled friendly votes, and many more actions have been taken this year.
So,
And one more thing they have made. One more thing is you cannot be staying on the standing in the queue. That is one of the biggest reasons for these high class people say, I cannot go and stand in the queue. For that also, they are given in the Mangla constituency. They have introduced Q1 app. In this Q1 app, you can log into that, download and log into that app, and you can choose what time it's free, and you can choose what time you want. You will be given a token, and you can go at the time allotted for you, and only for you. Preferential voter thing has been introduced in this election. So you need not go and stand in queue. You can just directly go and vote and come, because you'll be given a token. And for that token, for that allotted time, you can only go and vote. So these are the different measures taken by the ECI, and I really hats off to the ECI.
Actually, ECA has really taken a lot of measures, disabled and encouraging the youth to come and vote. All that is very good. But youth, especially this 18 years plus, first time voters are more excited, and also college level responsibility is taught, and oath has been made that we will definitely vote. But the problem which ECA may not be able to handle, and where citizens should involve, is the attitude of people. What you said, the holiday, long weekend, attitude of the people who are neither youth nor the aged people who know the responsibility. It's a middle-aged people who feel it is okay if I don't vote. What if I don't register my vote? Why do I need to spend one day going to Bangalore one and registering? This attitude, maybe ECA cannot do anything unless there's an enforcement which comes, that
Exactly. I
mandate
agree
which
with
comes.
Shanti madam, because we also have that mentality stating that what government is done for us, why we have to vote. There is no proper process also they have done. And then this is even I also heard from some people who are going outing. So I told them that, okay, this is not the way that you cast your vote. It is your responsibility. Even bringing awareness, we all can bring awareness. We all are discussing in the panel that, okay, we have to bring an awareness. People should not go without voting. It is their responsibility and all everything. But of course, I think after even we bringing this awareness, somewhere, some down the line, there are some people who are not going to vote that.
And I
So
feel
what
these are
government
the
has done?
I think it's a very good point. Vinod, you highlighted some of the important measures the ECI has done this time, especially privileged voting slot is really amazing. And especially some executives want to, leverage that because they may have some meetings and stuff like that. That is a different thing. But as a citizen of the country, it is important for whatever the levels they are. It is important to vote and vote at the right time. Yeah, Vishal.
Yeah.
Vishal, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, even if you can see the, it's like if you don't know if you have is given a permission like who's your neta, who's your local MP, and it says what MP in what MP has done. It's like if it's an old MP, what is what is what is the criminal? He has any criminal cases. Everything will be there for that. So that has also made. I such many people who suggest who people were discussing like people don't vote. So I suggest people to go to ECI and you can check who's your leader is. Whether you're saying okay, I don't have time and people are not good. There's not a good MP. If you don't go and vote there, and if you say you take this as a holiday, and you say that the work is not happening, my MP is not good, the local things are not happening.
Yeah,
If you don't vote the right person, how you'll get the things done?
exactly.
How
This is
things
what
will,
the point which I was talking.
yeah,
I,
how
I
things will be done.
think
As
for the exactly for the reason, right? You need to have your representative in your constituency, and you need to represent people has to be represented at Lok Sabha. That is why everybody has to come and vote, right? There's no reason why people who has got a valid voter ID, and that too in Bangalore. I think as per the current statistics, it is 90 lakh is the around 90 lakh is the number of voters that we have in Bangalore, and maybe around, I'm not very sure exact numbers, maybe around 1 crore plus is the overall population in Bangalore, and out of which 90 voters ID is a tremendous number. Believe me, 90 lakhs is a very good number, and even if we reach 75 to 80% of 90 lakhs is a great success in Bangalore, and then we want to achieve 100% for sure, and out of 90 lakhs request everyone to come and vote. And you want to say about in terms of what is the age limit, right? So who are the people who will get voting?
No, I just wanted to. That's a universal adult franchise. There is nothing else regarding the age. Only one criteria. It is above 18 age. That's it. There is nothing else regarding the age.
Okay.
I just wanted to saying what is happening in Bangalore, it's a vicious cycle. What is happening because of the lower turnout, and you can just imagine the normal rate of voter percentage is around 60%. 55, not even 60. I feel 50 to 55 is the Bangalore city. In fact, if compare it with any urban centers in the country, it is around 50 to 55 percentage of votage. So among these 50 to 55% of votes, the winning candidate, how much is he getting in the winning candidate percentage? Among these 55%, around 20 to 25, 20% is what he is getting. So when we look at the 100%, this could be around 15% of the voters in the voters, 15% of it only the winning candidate has got the votes. So
So 15 people
it's simple.
deciding.
It's a simple logic. In
Yeah.
a 100 marks in a 100 marks exam, how can if he get 18 marks, can he pass? This is a simple question to the legislators. How can this system first pass the poll system? What we have in our constitution for the Representative People Act is first pass the post system. I think this is really, I think we have to look into it, because a 18 to 20% who has got the votes cannot be ruling the 100% of the population. How can this be possible? I do not know at all, because the other 70 to 80% have people rejected him. How can the 20% person who has been voted can rule our country? It cannot be possible at all. So we have to look it into this first past the poll system. So it's a vicious cycle. Now what happens is 18% he has got, and he has won the election. After winning, what he is going to do? He knows which booth now there is a traceability which booth he has got the votes maximum. So he is going to work only for the persons where he has got the most of the votes. So other people will be get lefted when they are neglected, when there is nothing working for them by the political parties. What they are going to do? They are going to lose the interest in the democracy, and they are not going to vote again. When again there is no voting, again these people do not vote, again it is going back to the politician. When the again election happens, these people are again left out. So the it gets reduced. So this is the vicious cycle. This was past the poll system. So now Election Commission of India has to really look into this system. What are the flaws? Or we can have a proportional representative system like we have in America. Can we think of it? That has to be debated at this hour.
Okay, I think just wanted to. I think it's a very good point, Vinod. One of the point I wanted to discuss is on the number of voters that we have, 90 lakhs, right? Out of these 90 lakhs, suppose what is the percentage where you see a duplicacy, right? For example, Shanti, Madam just now highlighted there may be some people having two voter IDs, three voter IDs in their native place and the place where they are living, right? So, what is the percentage of such that we foresee in any sampling, right?
That may be around 2 to 5% maximum. As per the statistics, that is around 2 to 5%. These flaws, which includes double entry, multiple entries, as well as shifts and deaths, these three includes 2 to 5%.
Okay.
As per ECI statistics.
Okay, I
So
think. 2 to 3% error in the system is to some extent
in the electoral roll.
In the electoral rolls, out of which, if we consider, even if you take away maximum, assume that even 5% error in the system also, if you take away that, the 95% of the Bangalore citizens have the right to vote, and it is their responsibility and their accountability that come into picture. They need to vote. 5% anyway, let us remove duplicacy and other stuff, but 95 of 90 lakhs, roughly around 80 to 85 lakhs people need to vote. Shanti, ma'am, say something.
No, I mean, Election Commission to bring in the awareness can also participate in schools and colleges, because every family has a child. Whether the child goes to school or college, one child, they should have some pledge kind of a thing where parents are promising their child that I will vote. That may give some accountability. As a parent, if I am signing some pledge to my child that I am going to vote, at least to keep up that word that, okay, he has taken a circular to school. School should send a circular home to parents that I will pledge to vote for the future of my child, or for something, a strong message to parents. If they sign that and that becomes an accountability for parents, then I think participation will increase. Every family has a child, whatever age, college, school, whatever. I think by this we can increase, some emotional connect is required, though not responsibility. Though if they don't feel as a responsibility, some accountability. I promised, I pledged my child that I will vote. Tomorrow he might question me. With that guilt, at least they will vote. Homework should be done.
My data is getting over. I think I'm going online. Thank you.
Hello.
Hello. I just want to add with Shanti Madam's what she told. Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's like, see, if you go to any school, today's generation, you ask any parents, they always say, we need my son or daughter has to be engineer or doctor, but nobody says as a good politician. Why can't we bring that? Why can't we make our children as a politician? That's what has to be brought. Always I heard people like, all politicians are bad, all politicians are criminals. Yeah, understand. Then why can't you make your own children as politicians? Why can't you give them a session? Why can't you give a lesson of politics? Why can't a person anyone saying I never heard a person saying my son or my daughter has to be in politics. So that's the changes we require in India. I feel like that what we require, so that not everyone can be to get a good politician. We need that mindset has to be changed.
No, the thing is, see, if you see Abdul Kalam, he's made the country proud, and everyone talk about it. Parents feel my son should become like Abdul Kalam. my son should become like this. None of the, I mean, not many, I can't say none, there are few. Not many politicians are setting that example, as people get inspired to become a politician. I can withheld the pressure in the politics. That belief still is not there. It's a long way to go. Maybe, I don't know.
I think
I think it's a very good point. Every parent will want their kid to become an engineer or a doctor. Why not politician? I think it's a good point. I think let us not only a politician son or a daughter need to be in politics, but anybody who wants to do a real service should be in politics. That's the main mantra. And let us come to address these 90 lakhs voters that we have in hand. Shanti or Pushpa, one of you can explain in terms of procedure of going and voting, right? If you can summarize in a couple of minutes in terms of how to vote, right? Let us give some message around that. So, what is the prerequisite that you need to carry to go to polling station? Pushpa, you want?
It can be. I mean,
ballot.
Yeah, so suppose you have a voter ID, right? Let us, this video will also be seen by a lot of youngsters who are voting for the first time.
So even if you don't have your voter ID,
yeah,
if your name is displayed in the voter list, you can take your ID card, any personal ID card, to show proof that I am Dr. Shanti. So any proof of ID, which if your name is there in the voter list displayed, though you don't have an voter ID card, you can still take some ID card there and vote. And one tip I would like to give is early morning is the best time where whole city will be sleeping and you'll not be in the queue. You'll be the first one to go and finish in 5 minutes.
Okay. Okay, and also Election Commission of India, if you go to website, you can get to know your serial number, right? You don't have to go and search your name in the list of 1,500 voter list what they have, but you can
giving
download
your details of name, son of, daughter of, or your constituency area. You will find the list in your name and the place where you have to, where your booth is.
Yeah, so I think people who are students who are watching this video, please make a note of it. If you have a valid voter ID, government ID proof, PAN card, Aadhaar card, or your passport, or any government recognized ID proof, you don't need voter ID to vote. Only thing is need an ID proof, and your name should be there in the registry. So please go and check in your website and ensure you carry a voter ID and then go for voting. Okay, so those are some of the important prerequisites for voting. I think one more point I wanted to, kind of bring onto the table is with respect to nota. So there's a lot of debates, lot of unnecessary talks are happening around the city in terms of a nota issue. So Pushpa, you want to take a couple of minutes? What is this nota is all about? And in Constitution of India, do we have any importance to this nota? And what is the percentage of nota increases over a percentage winning candidate? So what is the criteria that nota makes very powerful, or giving a strong message to the people of different political parties saying that your candidate is good or your candidate is not good? Or what is the constitutional rights that has been provided to nota eligibility? Because there is always a nota in all the ballot, right? Pushpa, you want to?
To my knowledge, I think I know only a few things about nota. Is it's only a symbolic, like a percentage of voters, does not affect any results in any of elections. That's which I know as of now. It means like, if it is out of 100 votes, nota gets 60 candidates. It might get 30 or other candidates get totally voters than the candidates.
Okay, Visha, you want to comment on this?
I think I'll just go with what Pushpa was saying. Nothing much.
Okay, Shanti ma'am, anything on this?
Yeah, when people are totally have done the homework and very sure that none of the candidates are deserving that I come and vote, they can go in for nota, which will, I mean, till now hasn't proved that, that there's a percentage of votes when decided. Nota is, I think 29, no? Not sure
Yeah.
about it. Percentage it crosses, only then there's a re-election in that area. Till now, it
No,
did not happen.
no, madam.
Vinod is
I
back.
think that,
Yeah,
Vinod will give
you're
it.
yeah,
back.
extremely
So
sorry.
there is
Data has been
important.
exhausted. I have to switch on hotspot.
Okay. So there is important discussion happening around nota.
Nota.
So Shanti ma'am, you and then we'll pass it on to
Yeah,
Vinod.
Vinod.
Okay.
Yeah, ma'am. I
Regarding nota.
think regarding nota, there is nothing, any provisions. If there is an increase or if there is an increase above the winning candidate, there are no any rules in the Representation of People's Act that it has to be repolled or anything.
I think that's a
That's
very good
clear.
Shanti ma'am, whatever you're saying, 29% or 30% does not make any sense, because as per that Constitutional Act, nota, the policy is not very clear, and there is no re-election of of the assembly if the nota numbers increases over a winning candidate also. So it is only symbolic representation, not a constitutional while binding on any citizen that there will be re-election. Yeah, go ahead.
No, there are two reasons why they had introduced this nota. The first reason is there were people who were saying that none of these persons are eligible for to rule our country. So those people, they never voted. So they wanted to hear their voice also. Hence, this was introduced. This was one of the reasons why this nota was introduced. The second reason is, what happens, just like, let us imagine if the winning candidate has got 20% of its votes, and let us imagine that nota has got 22%. So the opposition parties, the other political parties, now they think that the person who won the election within the party, they will come to know that this person, if he stands for the next election, this person is not going to be re-elected. Now the opposition parties, what they are going to do now, they know that there are so many of them nota votes, and this where the exact nota has been majority, that can be captured by booth capturing counting machines. So now the political parties will go and approach who has casted the none of the above votes in which booth it has been casted more, and there they are going to take the opinions of the people why you have chosen for the nota, and then they will say these people was not good, and their mandate was that this person has to be eliminated from the political process, and there should be a good candidate for the next time. This is the message they'll be sending through the nota. For these are the two reasons why it was introduced.
Okay, Vinod, one small this information, if you could just let me know about this nota. Even if nota gets the majority of votes, the candidate gets the highest votes after nota will also win the election. That's what, right?
Nota is not going to do anything with respect to winning of a candidate. Nota is just a number where a person, a voter, can franchise his will that none of them are as bad as good. So for that is the one.
None of the
And the second
candidates
reason,
to stand as a politician. That's what it is. None of the other politicians, none of the people are eligible. That's what it says.
yeah, that is one of the reason. And the second reason is, now the politicians will know that in this constituency these people are bad. So whom I have to choose? Now they are going to choose a better person than the last person.
Next time.
Yeah, next time the better person for conduct candidature.
So I think a very good discussion around the nota. I think the next summary is that even if you press nota, there's no impact that is going to make on any of the winning candidates. I think that everybody should keep in mind. And there are a lot of rumors around, floating around in the city, saying that if your nota number increases than winning candidate, there will be re-election and all. As per constitutional bylaws or constitutional binding, there is no such rule as such, and also it is just a symbolic representation of what the leader is not good, but that doesn't mean that you have a re-election. So that's a very strong message. I think many leaders out there also passing on that to everyone out here. Especially, it will confuse a lot of youngsters in terms of debated with that. So I think it's important to vote and vote the right leader among whoever you see on the panel. Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
I think we are almost kind of discussed important discussion on Nota. Probably we know the just want to pass on a net summary from your side in terms of guiding principles for new voters who are added freshly in Bangalore and also residents of Bangalore in couple of minutes. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the one of the greatest achievement by ECI is in this election there are 8.5 crores 18 plus voters have been registered for this election. This is the highest number of registration taken place by our independent India. 8.4 crore new 18 years of age registration has been taken place. So they all are going to franchise their vote this time, and it will be a clear marginal. It's not marginal increase in the voter turnout. This will be a huge margin, huge turnout of the voters this time increase. And I think if you have to question the government, the first and foremost thing any citizen of India has to do is he has to franchise his vote, or else he will not be considered as a citizen. He can just accept whatever he gets, and he has to obey for those politicians. If he has to vote once, and if he doesn't vote once, he is going to suffer for 4 years. So please, youngsters as well as everyone, I don't think so the old age people also, they are not going to miss the votes and all. The only thing where we used to miss the votes for the youngsters, and but this time that is also been taken care. So hence our Indian youngsters also going to franchise their vote, at least for the sake of posting on the FB with their fingers upon, they are going to vote. I am sure about that. And I think they are going to vote this time, and we will see around 70% of vote turnout in Bangalore. I'm really hoping
You
for
know
that.
what?
There is a
I feel
thing.
I
Yeah,
feel
yeah, yeah.
everyone should like everyone should puja and all. We invite people, come for my house, come for the Kunkuma, Harshna, whatever, like that. Even on election day, we need to everyone whom we meet. Did we vote or not? Did you vote or not? Those who didn't vote should feel ashamed. Oh, I didn't
Yeah.
vote. Did I do something really wrong? I'm feeling ashamed. It should be like the whole day talk should be on whomever you meet, your neighbors, your road, your booth, whatever. Did you vote? Did you vote? And there's a proof. They cannot lie. Also, yeah, I did. They cannot. They can show. They should show the finger and say I did vote. So you need to talk more about it, like feeling proud about it.
Right, right. So I was seeing like 10 years challenge. My vote, my.
Look at Vinod.
So recently we have seen some
My
Facebook
vote,
post
my
one.
pride.
Yeah, I'm going to vote. All of you saying please vote,
I'm going to
viewers.
vote.
Pushpa, your strong message in 1 minute.
Yes, I think I will say this: vote as if your life and country depends on it.
Vishal.
Yeah, so usually we have seen a Kiki challenge and we have the 10 years challenge. So let's make this year, this challenge, like
Voting
we'll have
challenge.
a vote challenge. So let's do this. Not all the youngsters, all we are above 18, please do it. And you should be like, you should like I've not done it. It should be each and every person should do this challenge. And I hope for the best. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think thank you all for your valuable time. I think we had a very good, meaningful discussion on importance of voting, and let us all of us combinedly pledge today that we will vote. And I will repeat. I will repeat. Voting is my right, and you will say, "I will pledge. I will vote." Okay.
No, it's
So
not only right. Tell responsibility. It's a
it's
responsibility. Moral
responsibility. Yeah.
responsibility. Yeah.
Voting is my responsibility, and you will repeat, I will pledge, I will vote. Okay. Voting is my responsibility.
I
I'll
will pledge.
pledge.
Pledge
I
and
will vote.
vote.
Voting is my responsibility.
I
I
I'll
will
pledge
pledge.
and
pledge.
I
I,
I
vote.
will vote.
Voting is my responsibility.
I will
I
I
pledge.
will
I
pledge
pledge.
will vote.
and I
Oh,
vote.
And
Thank you.
also we ensure our
I
surrounding
will.
and our neighbors, our family members, everybody will vote, and also request each panels also, and all the people who are following on Facebook and following on Twitter and following on the social media, to ensure you first vote and ensure your family first vote and your neighbors vote, right? If some people are elders and some specially enabled kid or any elders want to vote, please help them. take them to the nearest polling booth, help them to get their serial numbers, and then please ensure they vote. I think this is a strong
One
message
more thing,
by doing.
Dhananjay.
Yeah.
There was a message that you're not supposed to carry your mobile phone to the polling booth this time.
Yeah, there is some paper announcement came in saying that mobile phones.
Bangalore, the BBMP commissioner has strictly made an announcement that this time they're going to enforce that if you carry your mobile phone, they are not going to allow. So please keep your
100
phone at
meter,
home.
yeah, 100 meter is the radius that they have mentioned as per
Yeah,
the notice.
yes.
Uh,
No, once they
yeah,
carry and they're
yeah.
not allowed, they may not be able to have, go back home and keep the mobile or give it to someone and go back and vote. So this should be a message that people can stay without a mobile for a while. Please keep your mobile at home and go for voting.
Yeah, I think that's important. Probably we'll keep our mobiles away for maybe 30 minutes and then
Yeah.
come back and take a selfie and then encourage others to vote. Okay, thank you all. It's a wonderful discussion and thank you for taking a time on festival day and
Happy
be part
voting.
of the discussion.
Happy
Happy
voting.
and have a nice time. Thank you all.
Thank
Yeah.
you.